So in this episode, we're going to talk to several ACC staff members who were recently awarded the 2023 Innovative Initiative Grants from the ACC Foundation. The grants were created to support innovative programs to help achieve the college's mission. This is the first of 2 episodes about the innovative grants. ACC art instructor Alex Ordonez was awarded $2,000 to create an outdoor mural honoring the college's 75th anniversary. So Alex, tell me a little bit about your project.
So we are grateful to have this funding to create a space for our students' community. We want to really create a landmark for our school, a place where you can go and take pictures and we'll identify ACC and our campus in social media. And when you visit the campus, well, we have a nice fountain. We used to have our Nolan Ryan statue in the front of Nolan Ryan.
So it's kind of like a landmark for the college.
Yes. That's how we visualize, and we find out that this 75th anniversary is kind of an awesome opportunity to show to the community who we are. Our diversity. That's the main topic of our mural that we are creating. Diversity. The multiple population that we serve, ages and peoples and genders and everything.
Okay. Do you have a space picked out for it anywhere or no?
We have a couple of suggestions. We would like that the space can be picked by the community and by, of course, there's some regulations that we need to find to solve. And we would like that the space can be a place that is cozy and can invite people to see. There's some suggestions, for example, something that can be seen by the road. Yeah, that we need to keep thinking on it.
So there'll be some scouting going on before you figure this out.
And I understand there's a committee also that has the last word on where the mural need to be placed.
So, and what is the grant going to be used for? I mean, how is it going to help fund your project?
That is a really interesting question. Well, the art department is also putting some funding on it.
Okay.
We have our painting teacher that's kind of going to put not only her time and skills, but also some of the creative process on the definition of the mural. And we have another set of proposals about that I'm going to mention as well. The mural is mostly to get the physical support in which we are going to place the paint. As you know, the campus is full out of brick.
Yeah.
And
so you kind of need supplies then to make sure it gets on there correctly.
Yes. So what we can exploring is paneling in the top of the brick, for example.
Okay.
Perfect solution.
We can't just put gesso on it?
We could. But and murals with texture, with abundant texture can be done, definitely.
I know, right?
One of the things that is kind of showing the time and showing how the progress and technology has been transforming our lives is the fact of the AI, a discussion that many scholars and teachers and in many institutions are setting this discussion. And the thing is that we would like to use in the definition of the mural also some AI in the good and positive terms that it can be used. Because it has been told that the AI is...
Well, a lot of people are afraid of it. I mean, because it's going to kind of upend creativity, I think.
A negative connotation.
Right.
We would like to explore a positive usage of AI.
Okay. So how are you guys going to settle on a design?
Well, it needs to be like a group of different people from different backgrounds that are going to talk about the experience of ACC, through the time and through the ages. And we somehow will define a set of topics that could be in part or integrated in the visual. This is like a focal group, something like that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we will discuss and talk, and after we define what is the message and the important things that we are going to say with this mural, we are going to work on the design of it.
Do you have a timeline when you think you might be finished, or no?
Yeah, we said the mural for spring of 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are going to start with interviewing people and talking with people about what they like, what they prefer, and where they would like to see something like that here in campus now in the fall semester.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming to talk to me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
A $2,000 grant was awarded to nursing instructor Justin Morgan to help fund an interdisciplinary disaster event for allied health students. All right, so tell me a little bit about Disaster Day.
So Disaster Day is an interprofessional simulation event that we do over in the S building and all over campus, really, where we bring together about 8 different disciplines and have them go through a realistic practice environment where they can work with patients and they can kind of work with each other and get a better understanding of the different roles and responsibilities of each of the different professions.
What all services are being provided here for our patient coming in?
So we set up a mock hospital, and we have nursing, the associate degree nursing, the licensed vocational nursing. We have respiratory therapy students. We have emergency medical technicians. We have polysomnography, neurodiagnostics, the HIM students, as well as the pharmacy technician students. And basically we set up a mock hospital, and we have patients in place to replicate what they would normally see. And then we have disaster scenarios that happen around the campus, and the emergency medical technicians bring those patients, their standardized patients or mannequins or whatever we're using for each scenario, into the hospital, and then they have to progress through the hospital setting.
So I know it seems kind of almost self-explanatory, but why is this drill important even for people in, say, like diagnostic cardiovascular? You wouldn't see them usually, you would think anyway, involved in a lot of emergency situations, but clearly they are. So how does this benefit a lot of these types of students?
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great question. So basically, students, the biggest issue that they encounter when they graduate is the gap between what we teach them and how we teach them in school and what they're going to experience in the real world. And so by creating these realistic simulation events, we're able to kind of bridge that gap and better prepare them for joining the workforce.
So how is the funding going to help you with this program? Like, what are you sort of going to use the funds on?
So the foundation grant, they gave us a little bit of money to help out with the standardized patients, and which is awesome because it's going to help in 2 ways. It's going to allow us to kind of recruit and train standardized patients that will help our existing students. We can train these standardized patients to really portray realistic disease processes, and it'll give a great learning experience for our students already in the program. And the second thing is that it allows us to kind of go out and recruit people out of the community and show, what programs we have available to them if they decide that they want to come to school here. And then if we have some theater students, which we used this year with Chris Tennyson's students, they did an excellent job. But it allows them to refine their theater skills and hopefully make them more marketable once they graduate from that department as well.
And like, what kind of patients did you have simulated?
Oh man, we had over 40 different standardized patients running around that day, and we're going to probably increase that a little bit. But they were pretty stereotypical patients for the hospital. We had pediatrics to geriatrics. We had everything from asthma attacks to car accidents. We had patients that got better. We had patients that didn't. But it was a great
had a gunshot victim. I'm not mistaken.
We had a few gunshot victims where the EMS had to bring them in. So we had a lot of fun in the moulage department and got them all kind of set up.
Was it hard for you to create a thing where you're supposed to induce chaos, whereas you're like a medical provider, so your job is usually to calm everything down? So did you enjoy this sort of, I'm going to make this as chaotic as possible?
It was definitely based off of some previous experiences, but it was a lot of fun kind of creating the chaos. It was definitely interesting watching how different people respond to it, Yeah, it was a lot of fun coming up with it and working with this. I got to work with some really great instructors, and we had some really great scenarios, and I'm looking forward to see what we can do in the future.
So do you have any plans of like expanding this kind of in the future? Because I was thinking the first one I went through was like, man, y'all need to get like the police cadets involved, and y'all need, but that was just, it's easy for me to say. So
no, you're right. With it being our first initial attempt at it again, it had occurred here at the college, but it had been a couple years. So with us bringing it back, we started a little bit smaller, and that's a relative term. Most time when guys pilot these things, it's like 20 people. We started with 200 plus. So we're going to expand it a little bit and try and reach out even to Alvin ISD, get exposure to the high school kids that potentially might be coming over, expand to some of the community members and then other departments as well. Again, would love to get with the police department and kind of work in some training for them as well.
Thanks for coming to talk to me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
The foundation awarded biology instructor Dwight Rhodes a $2,000 grant to implement a community horticulture initiative that will include community workshops and a Master Gardener speaker series. So tell me, first of all, kind of what you plan to do with the grant that you received.
I've had several people, and there was a lady by the name of Jane Lehman who talked to somebody in administration about horticulture. Mm-hmm. And it turned out this lady wanted to learn more about horticulture and wanted to know if we had a program in horticulture. Well, we don't really have a program, but I do work with the Strive kids in the greenhouse and the gardening. And my background is in horticulture, and I thought, well, it might be nice to, because I hear other people say, how do you do that? How do you grow this? What happens when this does that? Mm-hmm. And so I thought, well, it'd be nice then to maybe start a series of, I'm going to say, seminar kind of things. At first we thought, oh, are we going to do something every week? Is this going to become, I hate to say, but something that I really have to plan a whole lot for? Or is it just the fact that people want to know? I'm finding, there are many people who might have a small piece of property. Mm-hmm. It could be a 100 by 100 backyard, or it could be 5 acres. How do you keep bees? How do you grow turnips? How do you do these kind of things? And I always think that's a great thing for people to know, especially with everything you hear about the price of food and chemicals. And so the purpose of this grant was to put together, and we're going to try and do like a monthly public seminar where people can come to the college. And I'm working on getting some speakers with the Brazoria County Master Gardeners Program. I've talked to the county agent and some local growers in town and around that, I don't know anything about chickens, but all of a sudden, everybody wants to know about chickens. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to find somebody that knows something about, I'm going to say livestock, because there are people that might want to raise pigs or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's not my background. Mine is in plants. So we're going to try and keep it varied. We're also then maybe offer a couple workshops, not every month, maybe every couple, 2 or 3 months, so that if you want to know how to start broccoli so you'll have it in the wintertime, we'll buy supplies, and that's what part of the funding is. Okay. So some of the funds will go to paying some lectures. It'll also go to buying seeds, soil, other things that you might need to get things started so that people can start some things, take them home, and then hopefully, report back how well they did. Mm-hmm.
It's going to have to be kind of a flexible program, I guess, in that regard.
It is. And I'm hoping to bring to it not only just the mechanics, but also, I'm going to say, some of the understanding of, just from my botanical background, why you do certain things to plants. Why do they need these nutrients? Why do you try to enrich your soils with certain materials? Things of that nature, so that people understand why when you go to a home and garden center, you see 20 bags of fertilizer, So that's kind of how this all got started. And I was talking to Sarah Curry in the continuing education department, CEWD, and she's also the grant writer. And if it wasn't for her, this probably would not have happened. You can have ideas, but somewhere you usually have to come up with some kind of funds. Because when Miss Lehman came to us and said something about it, in my mind, I'm going, well, how do you publicize? I don't know how to do that stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, that takes a little bit of money. You need to do this. What about supplies? Well, you need some money to do this. And that's when somebody said, well, why don't you write a grant? And that's when Sarah and I started talking about it, and we sat down and worked on it, and lo and behold, we have some money. We hope that the public does come. We will start these.
I was going to say, when do you feel like you're going to be able to get it up and running?
We'll probably start September. And I don't know yet, but, probably an evening during the week, hopefully people will be able to come and maybe learn something. Okay. It's a new challenge somewhat, but I just think that there's enough people interested that if we can get the publicity out there, get some good speakers, I think it'll be a good program.
Well, thanks for coming to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
The foundation issued an $1,100 grant to pay for books and a guest speaker through the Savvy Ally training program in order for staff members to become better LGBTQ advocates. The grant was awarded to counselors Lily Gu, Annalisa Hernandez, Director of Student Success and Advising Holly Williams, and Director of Recruitment and Enrollment Services Amanda Smithson. Holly, tell me about your grant.
So we applied for a grant for Savvy Ally training. The purpose of this grant is to provide educational opportunities for faculty, staff, and students to discuss being a positive ally for students who identify as LGBTQ+ at Alvin Community College.
Tell me a little bit more about the program that it's with.
This past year, we had a wonderful opportunity at the college to participate in ANEW. ANEW stands for the Action Network for Equitable Wellbeing, which is sponsored or hosted at New York University. And Alvin Community College became the first community college in the country to participate in this initiative. So it was a really great opportunity where we spent 9 months connecting with other institutions of higher education across the country to identify issues as it relates to students' well-being on college campuses. The main purpose of the project is for each institution to identify a cohort of students that they want to first try to identify what issues those students are having in regards to their mental health, physical health in some cases, and well-being, just general well-being, and then identify a cohort of those students to go and from that data identify some action items that they can hopefully change and in return increase students' persistence, retention, and student success.
And so how does your allied training kind of fit in with that program?
Absolutely. So one of the action items that the team identified was providing additional training opportunities, educational opportunities for our campus community. So that includes everyone from faculty and staff, leadership, all the way down to our students. And in conjunction with organizations like Pride Alliance, some existing training opportunities that have been provided for faculty and staff, we've identified some areas that we can maybe broaden those experiences, include new experiences, and one of those is bringing in a guest speaker who is the author of the book, The Savvy Ally, to facilitate a virtual training, and then with the campus community have some selected leaders in this work to facilitate the rest of the training.
Well, thank you for coming to talk to me.
You're very welcome. Thanks, John.
Thank you for listening. To read about these stories and more, visit alvincollege.edu/news.